Welcome to today's class. First, before beginning class, I want to discuss a few things. Yesterday, I had given you a question on what is living. Out of 63 students, only 32 gave me the answer, and of which only some answers were appropriate. I am announcing the names: Abhilash, Rituraj, Rohan, Akash, Shushmita, Santipriya, Dikshit, Ankur, Pranav, Zinti, Gaurav, Ananya, Pranami, Lakshmi Nandan, Ambarish, Abhay. Only their answers were appropriate, and rest of the answers were very small. I asked what is living, you all told me living means alive, so that is not a 1 mark answer. So next, rest of the 32 students which have not answers, I have already noted down, and this I'll keep in mind the students who have not given me the answers, which will be later included in your assessment. So first, let us begin the class. Today I'll be explaining the first chapter, the living world, unit 1, first chapter, the living world. Okay, what do you mean by living? You all gave me the answer. I have mixed up the answers and I have written a simple answer. All organisms which exhibit growth, development, responsiveness, metabolism, cellular organization and reproduction are called living beings. That means the living beings are those which show growth. That means they become big, from small to big. Development, show their development, brain development, muscle development. Responsiveness, that means if they show some response, like if somebody if they touch a hot iron, they'll remove their hand. Responsiveness. Metabolism means division of the cells, that means growth of the organisms. Cellular organization, we all know living beings are made up of cells, so cells, that is cellular organization. And reproduction means production of new individuals from the existing ones. So this is the simple definition of what is living. So if I ask you characteristics of living being, what will you say? Living things move, living things have shape, etc. So first, here I will discuss the main characteristics of living beings. Okay, this chapter, it seems very easy, you all take it lightly, but the concepts, some of the concepts are very important. Okay, so we have to first understand the concepts. uh, First is growth, reproduction. So characteristics of living organisms: growth, reproduction, metabolism, cellular organization and consciousness. We'll get this in books, but the main concept is, what will you understand is, first two characters I have given is the first two characters, growth and reproduction, are not the defining characters of living. The word defining, I have used the word defining, not the defining characters of living. Defining means these are not purely characteristics of living beings. That means these characteristics may also be seen in non-living things. These characteristics, growth and reproduction, may also be seen in non-living things. That's why it is called not the defining characters. I'll explain it later one by one. Next, metabolism, cellular organization and consciousness. These three are defining characters of living organisms. In nowhere, in no living, non-living organism will see metabolism, cellular organization, consciousness. Only living organism will see these three characters. Okay. So if I give you a question later, say write 3 marks question. If I ask you, write the defining characters of living organisms, only the defining characters, 3 marks question, you have to write metabolism, which is the first important one. Metabolism, cellular organization and consciousness. Why not growth and reproduction? Because I already told you these two may also be present inside the non-living. There are some exceptions. Okay, I'll later explain it. First, take the example of growth. Now I'll tell why it is not defining. So what is growth? What do you mean by growth? What do you mean by growth? Growth means growing from small to big, growing. That means what has increased from a child to an adult. What has increased? The growth means increase in mass. Let's take example of a small amoeba. Say this is the small amoeba. Amoeba, you all know, you all have studied in lower classes, amoeba. So first what happens, the amoeba will take food. Okay, this is the food. Food by the process of phagocytosis. Amoeba will take the food. Okay, the food has entered. Next what will happen? The size of the cell will become bigger. So that means the mass has increased. Mass means overall size has increased. Overall size has increased. Next, or mass, increase in mass, increase in weight. Okay, increase in mass or increase in weight, which may take in the cell also, or tissue also, or the whole organisms. Cell, a single cell has increased its mass. Tissue, a tissue has increased its mass. An organism has grown taller, like that. So growth is such. Next, important character, growth. Twin characters of growth. This you will get into the NCERT book, first page of this of the chapter. So twin characters of growth. Twin character of growth. Twin means two. Okay, twin characters of growth. There are twin characters of growth. Number one is increase in mass. Increase in mass and increase in number. That means in both the cases growth has happened. Increase in mass, that means a single cell, an amoeba single cell has increased its mass. It has grown bigger. Next, from one amoeba cell, it has undergone cell division to produce two cells. Okay, one parent cell have undergone division to produce two daughter cells. These are the new cells. That means there are two types. First, increase in mass and increase in number from 1 to. So both cases growth has happened. That means the twin characters of growth are increase in mass and increase in number. Please note it down. Next, so now we can define, how we can define growth. We can give a definition of growth. We can give a definition of growth as growth is permanent. Permanent, irreversible. That means irreversible means it cannot be reversed. An adult cannot go back into a baby stage. Okay, permanent irreversible change in living organisms. Next, types of growth. We'll take types of growth. There are two types of growth. First is intrinsic growth. Intrinsic growth. Next is extrinsic. I have given the notes. Now you understand. Intrinsic growth and extrinsic growth. Intrinsic means inside and extrinsic means outside. That means a cell have increased its size. That means what is present inside the cell? Protoplasm. The protoplasm inside the cell has increased. Okay, that means inside it has undergone growth. That means it is intrinsic growth, which is seen only in living organisms. That means inside the cell, inside the tissue. Intrinsic means inside. Now extrinsic means outside. How outside? See, suppose there is a rock. There is a rock. Okay, this is a rock. So there was a mountain here. So from this mountain, there was soil erosion due to rain. That's why the soil came down. Okay, due to soil raining, the soil from the mountain eroded and fell over the rock. So what will happen? The soil will get accumulated here and the rock will become bigger. That means outside growth has happened, which is extensive growth. This is extensive, means outside. Now here I mentioned rock. We are studying living organisms. Here I mentioned rock. Rock is non-living. Rock is non-living, which is not a characteristic of living organisms. So that's why I have told growth is not the defining character of living. That means growth can be seen in non-living things. That's why growth is not the defining character. That means it is not the true character. Only, okay, remember, only intrinsic growth. Only intrinsic growth is defining character of living organisms. Only intrinsic growth is defining character. Okay, defining character of, not extrinsic. So growth is not considered as defining characters. One more, let's do it fast. Growth, and again another, we'll classify again growth into indeterminate, and determinate. Indeterminate, as the name suggests, that means it unlimited growth. Unlimited growth. The growth continues. It does not stop. It continues. Example, in plants. In plants. Okay, in plants, we see the tip of the plant grows and grows and grows. This tip part is called apical part. Okay, apical part, which consists of meristematic cells. Meristematic cells. Now why I am telling meristematic cells? Because these cells continuously divide and the plant grows taller. That means unlimited growth. And determinants here, limited growth up to a certain age. Up to a certain age, like humans, dog, up to a certain age. Example, animals. Okay, clear? Growth concept clear? Next we shall discuss reproduction. Next character is reproduction. Now reproduction, we all know, there is a reproduction is production of new individuals from their parents, is reproduction. Next, in multicellular organisms, the newly formed individual will be same like the parents, and in unicellular organisms, the reproduction or growth is same. Unicellular, I'll explain unicellular. Suppose in amoeba, I've taken an example of amoeba so that it is easy for you to understand. So amoeba will give rise to new individual by the process of reproduction, by the process of binary fission. Binary fission, where one cell of amoeba divides into two cells. So here the amoeba will give to the two different amoebas. So here we can say the growth has occurred. That means this cell has produced two cells which are similar to the parent cell. So here growth has occurred. So in amoeba, reproduction and growth are the same. That means in unicellular organisms, not in multicellular. In unicellular organisms, growth and reproduction is the same. Next, reproduction, as we all know, reproduction is of two types. First one is asexual and sexual. We all have studied in class, so I am doing it fast. Asexual means no two parents are involved. Okay, no two parents are involved, and there is no fertilization of cells. Fertilization and sexual, two parents are involved, two sex cells are involved, male and female, which fuse to form the zygote, and zygote forms into a new individual which is sexual. This will explain later in another chapter. So these are two types of reproduction. Now I told reproduction is not the defining character of living. Same as growth. Growth can be seen in non-living organisms. Reproduction cannot be seen in non-living, but there are few exceptions. It is still not defining characters. Suppose I have told a man will give birth to a human baby, a female will give birth to a human baby, a dog will give birth to a puppy, cat to a kitten, which is of the similar type. But in some organisms such as sterile couple means sterile human couple. Sterile human couple, that means couple which have there are some complications inside them due to which they cannot give birth to new ones. Okay, these are sterile human couple. So here we cannot see any reproduction, any formation of new individuals, but can we consider them as non-living? We cannot consider them as non-living. So here sterile, here also reproduction. Therefore reproduction is not the defining character of living. Understood? So not the defining characters we have finished. Now the main defining characters which are important. Number 3, metabolism is important. Metabolism is, how do you define? Sum total of all biochemical reaction inside a living organism. Cell or organism? Biochemical reaction. We know that our cells are made up of, what is inside cell? Inside cell there are cell organelles such as nucleus, mitochondria, etc. So these cells are made up of, what are these cells made up of? Cells are made up of molecules, biomolecules, and biomolecules are made up of atoms such as carbon, phosphorus, etc. That means there is chemistry inside our body. Okay, biomolecules. First there are atoms. These atoms come together to form biomolecules. The biomolecules such as what are inside biomolecules? Carbohydrate, protein, etc. So these atoms join together to form biomolecules, molecules which are inside the living organisms. These biomolecules join together to form different cell organelles like mitochondria, nucleus. So cell organelles are present inside the cell. That means we can see there these atoms are combining. Okay, that means here different reactions are going on inside the cell. So here metabolism means the reactions which are going inside the cell is called metabolism, which is important. Now metabolism is of two types. These are important because questions usually come from metabolism. The metabolism is of two types, anabolism and catabolism. Anabolism means, say, simple substances join together to form a bigger substance. Here catabolism means a bigger substance break down into smaller substance. So here anabolism is constructive. Constructive means building from simple complex substances built inside the living organisms. Okay, these are all chemical reactions. Here this is destructive. Destructive means a bigger molecules is inside the body. The bigger molecule has divided into smaller molecules. Here it is constructive. Next, here example, in plants say photosynthesis. So photosynthesis we all have studied. So in photosynthesis, what happens? Carbon and oxygen are combined to form food. Photosynthesis food, which is sugar. Okay. So here two simple substances has formed sugar. Next, catabolism example say respiration. Respiration, where simple substances are broken down into complex substances are broken down into simple substances. Or digestion also. Digestion, like we are taking in food. When the food enters, what happens? The breakdown of food occurs inside the stomach, intestine. So here energy. So here small complex molecule is broken down into simple molecules. Number 4 is cellular organization. Cellular organization, you all know cellular organization means all living organisms are made up of cells. So here again simple atoms forms molecules. Molecules form cell organelles. Cell organelles compose the cell. Inside the cell forms tissues. Different tissues form different organs, and organs combine together in an orderly manner to form organism, whole body, and etc. means population. So this is a synchronized organization of cell. So living beings is also known as organism. Living organism. Why? Because we can see this organization which helps in functioning of the organisms. Atoms combine to form molecules such as carbohydrate, proteins. This forms cell organelles such as nucleus, mitochondria, etc. Cell organelles are present inside the cell. So cells is the functional unit of living organisms, basic functional unit. So cells join together to form tissues. So like such as epithelial tissues. So these tissues form different organs, heart, kidney, etc. Organs. The organs are arranged in an organized manner to form an organism, living organisms, and different organisms give rise to population. So this is cellular organization. The last part is consciousness. Number 5, consciousness. So what is consciousness? Means awareness of the surrounding. Awareness of the surrounding. And response to stimuli. Response to stimuli. Consciousness means we are aware of the surroundings, whether it is hot, cold, we are aware, we feel it. And response to stimuli. Stimuli, what is stimuli? Stimuli means change condition in the environment. Change condition in the environment. Change environmental condition, and the response to the stimuli. Respond to this stimuli. Living beings respond to this stimuli. Change in the condition. Suppose if I'm sitting, if I accidentally touch a hot iron, I'll automatically remove my hand. So I was aware that this is hot. Okay, I have removed